want to think about friendship not being whom you have lived the longest with, but about who walked into your life and said that I'm here for you and actually proved that they were there for you. They don't need to actually say it literally, but hypothetically act as though they have proven that they are in your life. Honestly, this is one of the most difficult topics for me to discuss about, and it's just because friendship is so vast and so layered. But I have my opinion and an opinion that I want to share, and that's the main reason as to why I actually do this podcast, to share my opinion. And today I want to talk about friendships, the lies, the misconceptions, the truths, the things we don't actually want to hear, and the things we rarely even want to say out loud. I'm not an expert in this, and to show you that I'm not an expert, I don't really have very many friends. But I just want us to dissect this topic and see and understand why is it that every human craves to have some sort of connection. This is Exhaustivity. I want to begin this conversation with the universal need for connection. Well, humans, as social creatures, we are wired for connection. And you can just see it from the beginning. Adam was in the garden for some period of time. We don't know how long, but there was something missing, and that was a connection with another human. And that's how Eve came about, if I get the story right. Studies even show that friendships actually can help with mental health and longevity and all that. But you can even see the early Stone Age people, they used to live in communities. They used to not live alone. That shows you that we need people around us. And sometimes these people come as what we will call friends. Now, studies show that 50% of people that have friends tend to live longer, tend to succeed in life, because we do not succeed alone. You're supposed to succeed with someone. Either let it be family, let it be what, because we are a social creature. But the irony is here that everything in regards to relationships or friendships, the very thing that brings joy to us or brings a sense of fulfillment or brings a sense of social achievement, it's actually the same thing that would cause the greatest pain. Have you ever had a friend and they actually feel like family? What we call the brother from another mother or sister from another mother. Yeah, I do believe we have all had those people in our lives. But then at some point you feel the connection is no longer there. Maybe because of a lie or a misunderstanding or distance or anything that would breach the core of the friendship. You one day get to realize that the friends we have are for given seasons, and the seasons are based on how we live our life. Which brings me to the types of friends. We definitely know what type of friends we have, but because of the magnitude of this conversation, I will just say what I think are the types of friends I have. So me, I have those that I considered to be my childhood friends. These knew my awkward best. Like, our childhood, we don't really care about all these things. How rich you want to be, how smart you look, how good you present yourself, or what. You are your awkward best at the time, the authentic self and the kid in you. And these friends were there for you, grow with you, saw you through all the struggles as a kid. But as time goes on, you either move away from home, you're either in different schools, and so some of these fade away. But if you're lucky to have a childhood friend up to today, then that's someone you should keep very close to you, because they do know you from the core. Then we have the worst kind of friends to me, the work friends. This will need an episode of their own, but I will just say that they just make our 9 to 5s, the work, very bearable. But they also tend to be friends that actually do care about who they are, or the best benefit for themselves. They look out for themselves first, because I don't believe that we have work friends. I believe we have workmates or work acquaintances, something like that. But friends would be a very heavy word to attach to some of them. This doesn't rule out that some people actually become very good friends to you. But if you look at your job, and you see how many people you directly work with, and how many of those, or even have met your parents or something, have know where you stay, or know someone extra in your circle, then maybe they are friends. But most times, 70% of times, you'll find that they're just your friends because of work. Then we have the situational friends. The situational friends are those for the moment. If you go for like a networking event and you're this shy guy who doesn't want to talk to everyone, and then you meet another shy guy and you guys bond about being shy, you end up becoming friends, but for that moment. Maybe it either grows into another type of a friend, or sometimes it's just there. But situations, seasons, and all that bring you what we call a situational friend. Now, on the idea of situational friends, I want us to understand that sometimes we need to know the expectations that come with that situation friend or that season friend. Most times, and this is where the misconception of things like crushes come in. Most times you need to know, let me say, if you have a romantic relationship or friendship with this person, you need to know whether this person can really be a long-time friend, or just the time the situation has called for them to be close to you or a friend to you. Are you attracted to them because they, in the situation or in that season, they look like the only potential thing around you? And would you move on? If you are in another season of your life, would you move on with that friend? Those are some things you need to look at so that you don't disappoint yourself at the end of the day. And that's where misconceptions come in. Now, there are very many misconceptions about friendships and things people keep saying that sometimes don't actually make sense. There is a misconception of real friends never fighting. There are some people who actually believe that, and I know very many people don't believe that, because true friends actually do fight. For someone to be your true friend, they should be able to call you out on your bullshit. They should be able to tell you, man, you're actually not well dressed or what. That's a true friend. Someone who can tell you the truth. Someone who can tell you the absolute truth without holding back. Someone that is not always a yes person. And that's why I think real friends actually fight. Now, there's also that other misconception of friends should always be there for you. Guys, people are going through life. And if you expect someone to always be there for you, someone you call a friend, to always be there for you, my dear, you're going to get disappointed. Because I came to this world alone, you also came to this world alone. You have your own things that are happening in your life. I have my own things that are happening in my life. I can't always be there to look out for you. And that's why I believe sometimes your friends shouldn't always be there for you. You should always try to also figure out things yourself. Don't always depend on people to help you out. Because people have life. People have things going on. People have things going on. And same thing, if someone is always there for you, then they are doing little for themselves. I believe they are doing little for themselves. Or there is a stage that they have reached where you're either manipulating them or they are manipulating you. There is also that misconception that you need only one good friend. Yes, you may need only one good friend, but if you can get 2 or 3 good friends, then you're very lucky. You're a very lucky person. Because, like I said in the other one, that friends should not always be there for you. The misconception that friends should always be there for you. Well, if you have very many good friends, then if this one is not there for you, another one will be there for you. Now, I can't talk about types of friends without actually talking about the bad ones. So we have those toxic friends, those guys that are always receiving but not giving. In the sense that, you may not actually give in the same way. Or let me say, if you have a friend that is giving you money, you don't need to actually give back money. Or to give back what? You need to give back something to the friendship. And I'll later actually dissect what that actually means. But you have those toxic friends, those that are always getting from you, but not giving to you. And they sometimes become a stress to you somehow. Then you have the manipulative friends, those that are always trying to use their ego or to use some sort of something to hold onto you, blackmail or something, so that you keep the friendship with them. And even statistics show that 70% of people in the world have experienced at least one betrayal by a good friend in life. Now, personally, I'll say I've not had a big share of that, but I'll give you a short story of a friend I had in primary. Now, we were very young kids. I think about 12, 11 there. Now, I used to play with this guy so much, and and we were very good friends. We used to sing songs together. If you know who I am, actually, you know that I used to do parody songs at some point. And I also later did some music, I think during COVID and all that. But in my early time, I used to do parody music. Like I get a legit song from a real guy and then make fun of it. So I had that bond with this guy, and we used to laugh it off. This was during primary school. We used to introduce very many games into the school, and we were kind of a very strong bond. But then, the one betrayal I got from him was during I think the end of term there. I had my papers. In those days, we used to do 4 subjects: English, math, SST, social studies, and then science. Now, I had my papers, and they had corrections in them. Most of them, because I had lower marks than I had to get, things like that. And out of nowhere, my papers disappeared. I looked for them. I cried about it because I was still a young kid. Cried about it because I knew it was so instrumental into my passing to the next class for me to get those marks changed. But they were hidden. And when I made my research to find out who had hidden this, it was my very, very good friend. Very, very good friend. That's why at the beginning I said the friendships we have could be the greatest thing that happens into our lives, and also cause the greatest pain. So this guy had hidden my things out of a joke, out of a laugh. And by the time these papers appeared, these examination papers appeared for my corrections, the time for correcting had expired. So I couldn't correct those papers. And that's how I lost out on that. I also had to lose out on the friendship because I realized this guy was not good for me. And it happened that at the end of that term, he was not able to come back to the school. So also that friendship died like that. But the one thing I did was to redefine what I called friendships at the time. I started to realize that everyone that was around me I had to have my boundaries on what they could do in my life and how much they could know and everything I could tell them. Which brings me to redefining these friendships so that we get to what really matters. Now, most times friendships die out because of misalignment of expectations. I'll go back to toxic friends. When you misalign your expectations from someone, they tend out to become toxic to you. I'll give you an example. If you met someone in a bar and you became friends, you're vibing, things are going well. The rule about the bar, at least for what I know, is that is your friend for the bar. When you're out of the bar, you can't go to that guy and start, let me say, you want financial help, you want the guy to help you, or you want the guy to talk to you about something, a mental breakdown that you have, or something, I don't know. But at the point when that comes, you're starting to misalign the what? The expectations. Once you start to misalign the expectations, you who doesn't know what the expectations of that relationship or the basis of how that friendship came about or relationship, you tend to then start to call the person toxic, or you become toxic yourself. You start to damage the image of the other person. You start to say, that guy can't help me, he's not a good friend. You're forgetting this guy met you in the bar. He knows that if we go to the bar again, we are going to vibe, because our friendship is about vibing in the bar. It's not until maybe you see the advances of trying to change that relationship to something else and the person agrees, then you can say, okay, it's now more than just being a friend in the bar. So understand the expectations you have for every given friend you have, so that you do not misalign the expectations, so that you don't start expecting things that friendship is not all about. Friendship is not about perfection, but rather about presence. You may not help, but please be present for your friend. Be present. Give him some solutions. Because humans, all they need is ideas and who to attach the idea to. And say, man, this guy told me something and it worked out. So you need to just be present, even though you don't have the money or something. Then redefine your boundaries. There's some things that not everyone needs to know. Not every friend of yours needs to know. Not everything has to be done by you to your friends. So redefine those boundaries so that you better the relationship or the friendship. Communication. You talk to the guy very well, openly. Tell them, man, I know we are friends, but this and this and this can't happen. This and this can't happen. Things like that. You know, like those good female friends you have, my dear brothers. They're those good female friends you have who can openly tell you, man, I know we are good friends, but we can never have a relationship. Intimate relationship. And yes, you swallow. But I know every guy, let me leave that conversation. But you know what I mean. It's very hard to find a guy who is just a friend. Just a friend. Yeah. And also, in redefining friendships, you need to know when to let go. I've realized that most of my episodes are about letting go somehow or what. So someone may think my life is so miserable, but you need to reach a point whereby you rule your life according to what benefits you the most. Because at the end of the day, however much we are a social creature, we achieve alone. It's your name attached to it alone. So I know you may think this is so harsh, but it's the truth. It's the truth. You need to know when to let go. Sometimes you don't tell this friend, that's it, bye, and you leave it at that. So as we wind up for today, I want to tell you that friendship is one of the most beautiful and complex aspects of life. It's not about having very many friends, but having quality friends. People who actually see you for who you are and want you to be your true self, because all that matters is being your true self. Friendships are like a dance. Sometimes you're always in sync, and sometimes you step on each other's toes. The key is to keep moving, keep learning, and always value the connection. Thank you for listening and reaching this far into this episode. This was a tough but necessary topic, and I hope to have a guest to better share it, because I could have not shared it to the fullest. I hope I can give someone a space to give more knowledge onto this. And if you feel you are the right person, you can always reach out to me on any platform. I'll always be able to spare some time and we talk about this on an extensive platform, because I'm getting more motivated to do this thing and be a part of people's self-development or people's self-realization, and for the good cause, because we all know this is for the good cause. So until next Monday, keep it at Bezos Chibozi. Thank you for listening.